Library. I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation. And I'd like to welcome Montclair Early Music, who will be performing Pilgrims to Patriots, selection from early American music. At this time, I'd like to turn the program over to Marty Brownstein, President of Montclair Early Music, who will tell you more about today's presentation as well as a little bit more about the organization. Thank you all for coming and enjoy the presentation.
Apparently there's no on-off switch with this.
But apparently it's also.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
afternoon.
Closer to your mouth.
Okay, closer to my mouth. My name is Marty Brownstein. I'm the president of the board of Montclair Early Music. And I'd like to, first of all, thank you all for showing up on this lovely day. We're very fortunate in that. I'd also like to thank very much the Montclair Library. Tracy, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. We are Montclair Early Music, and our mission is to bring history to life through music. So we play a variety of eras. Today's music will go from the Pilgrims to George Washington's era. And we are a nonprofit organization, so your donations are very much appreciated. You can sign up there to receive your generous bounty. I'd also like to thank our executive director, who is vacationing right now in sunny Costa Rica. That's Julian Pape. I'd also like to thank our musical director, the distinguished Ms. Sandy Meltzer, our narrator, Mr. Milton Friedman.
Milton Horowitz. Milton Horowitz.
You sure your name isn't Friedman?
It used to be Milton.
Okay.
It was a whole different life before recorder.
Also, another important aspect of Montclair Early Music is that we are very involved in the educational programs. Obviously, we're surrounding music. We have recorder lessons, and we have brochures back there if you'd like to examine them. Take a look, please. That is one of the forerunners of our organization. So, again, thank you very much for showing up. And we're going to play some music for you, some you've heard.
There's some music for you.
Thank you, Bill. Let's hear it from Bill. And thank you.
That was the keynote. The Native American flute you just heard is considered one of the oldest musical instruments in the world. Native Americans used flute for everything from entertainment, prayer, healing, and courtship. Each tribe had their own music, though they sometimes learned songs from their neighbors. Native Americans traced their music to the Creator. Sacred narratives describe the origins of specific musical instruments, songs, dances, and ceremonies. The Puritan Pilgrims who arrived on the Mayflower in 1620 were followers of John Calvin, who subscribed to Calvin's vision of music. Calvin's music espoused the use of unaccompanied congregational singing based on lyric poetry of the Bible called the Psalms. Later, Isaac Watts brought to America his poetry based on the Psalms. William Billings, a tanner from Boston, harmonized them. Billings used a system of shape notes. Each shape represents a note in solfege. For example, a triangle is fa, an oval is sol, a square is la. Billings was an avid supporter of independence and composed the following patriotic song called Chester. We will perform it first using the shape notes, solfege, then with the words.
Let's see.
Sa, fa, sol, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, sol. Sa, 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 la, 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 sol, fa, sol, fa, mi, la, sol. Sa, fa, fa, la, sol, fa, la, fa, sol, fa. Fa, mi, fa, la, fa, la, sol, mi, sol, la, mi, fa, so far. Let tyrants shake their iron rod, and slavery clank her galling chains. We fear them not, we trust in God. New England's God forever reigns. How and Bourbon and Clinton too, with Prescott and Cornwallis joined, together plot our overthrow. In one infernal league combined, what grateful offering shall we bring? Shall we render to the Lord? Not hallelujahs, let us sing, and praise His name on every chord.
The unusual harmonies you just heard are uniquely American. They spread with other composers following suit. We will perform two pieces, one Captain Kidd and another called Nashville, with Elsa Larson singing and recorders accompanying.
Through
Much of the music brought to America by the colonists was British, and the colonists had no scruples whatsoever appropriating a good tune, even if it happened to be the enemy's. The engagement that gave the following march its name was fought between General Howe and Washington on, of all dates, September 11th, 1777, and it remained popular with American bands for some years. It happens that George Washington lost that battle. Washington's March. The following poem is taken from His Excellency George Washington, a poem that was written by Phyllis Wheatley, an African-American woman somewhere around 1773. Celestial choir enthroned in realms of light, Columbia's scenes of glorious tolls I write, while freedom caused her anxious breast alarms. She flashes dreadful in refulgent arms. See Mother Earth her offspring's fate bemoan, and nations gaze at scenes before unknown. See the bright beams of heaven's revolving light, involved in sorrows in the veil of night. And now a toast to George Washington.
Join yourself.
Well done, Tamaya. We're very proud of you. Isaac Watts brought hymns to America which were sung as call and response to familiar tunes. This system, called lining out, was introduced to the enslaved population who made it their own by adding African rhythms. It was a lot like the call and response music of their native Africa. This music eventually evolved into spirituals such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me. Coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, come for to carry me home. Tell all of my friends I'm coming there too. Coming for to carry me home. The brightest day that I ever saw. Coming for to carry me home. When Jesus washed my sins away. Coming for to carry me home. I'm sometimes up and sometimes down. Coming for to carry me home. But still my soul feels heavenly bound. Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot. Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot. Coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home.
Dancing was a favorite pastime of the colonists. Dances that were popular in England were popular with the American aristocracy. We will play Hole in the Wall, an English country dance by Henry Purcell, followed by a minuet by an unknown American composer entitled Minuet for Mr. Howard. York in 1786 and played a vital role in the development of American musical life. George Washington was a great admirer of Reinagle's. He frequently attended his concerts at the Chestnut Street Theater and had Reinagle give his granddaughter piano lessons. Reinagle wrote a piece for Washington, which Reinagle performed for Washington personally on the day of his first inauguration. Our first president had good taste in music. We present to you the Federal March. There are those who say that William Billings, the tanner from Massachusetts, was the first American composer, but others say it was Francis Hopkinson, who was a Princeton graduate and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. As an organizer of subscription concerts in Philadelphia, a publication once said, "It is not unbecoming for a gentleman to play the German flute," which we call the recorder, the violin, or the harpsichord. We will play one of Hopkinson's compositions, "O'er the Hills." Ballads were also popular. Springfield Mountain is one of the rare folk songs which was written and developed in the United States. It recounts the tragic death of a young man who, Timothy Merrick, who was bitten by a rattlesnake while mowing a field in 1761. It is one of the earliest known American ballads. Springfield Mountain.
On Springfield Mountain there did dwell a likely youth, was known full well, Lieutenant Merrick, only son, a likely youth near 21. One Friday morning he did go into the meadow and did mow a round or two, then he did feel a poisoned serpent at his heel. When he received his deadly wound, he dropped his scythe upon the ground, and straight for home was his intent, calling aloud and as he went. Though all around his voice was heard, but none of his friends to him appear. They thought it was some workman called, and there poor Timothy alone must fall. So soon his careful father went to seek his son with discontent, and there his fond only son he found, dead as a stone upon the ground. And there he lay down, supposed to rest, with both his hands across his breast, his mouth and eyes closed fast, and there, poor man, he slept his last.
Performing troops from England would come to the colonies and perform operettas such as Purcell's Fairy Queen. The libretto is an anonymous adaptation of William Shakespeare's comedy, A Midsummer Night's Dream. We will play for you an excerpt from The Fairy Queen. Before we conclude our performance with one more piece, I would like, I hope you have enjoyed this concert, and please spread the word. Montclair Early Music. Tell your friends, come and see us again. And you can help us, as you saw Tamia, or Tamaya, sorry. We offer classes for children to learn how to play the recorder. It is a fantastic instrument.
We also offer classes for adults.
Oh, okay. Classes for adults such as me. I take
It's never
classes.
too late.
I only started about, after I retired about 8 years ago. Our final selection is one by America's first composers, Timothy Swan. On July 23rd, 1758, in the British colony of Massachusetts, Swan initially worked as a merchant in his youth and learned the trade of hat making. He had very little musical training, 3 weeks of vocal music studies that we know of, and was not exposed to the European traditions of composition and voice leading in any formal way. But British tunes were all around him, whether he was hearing them in church, singing alongside homegrown New England compositions, or in the Continental Army, where as a soldier he learned fife from a British fife player. He might have been able to play the fiddle as well. He tested out his compositions by writing them down and handing them out to his friends, who then sang them, and he could hear how they sounded. In this way, manuscripts of Swan's compositions found rather wide circulation. And in fact, once he visited a town to find that his music was known there before it had appeared in print. So here is Let the Shrill Trumpets Sound.
With organs joined.
today's performance. We also have a concert coming up called Christmas in King Arthur's Court on December 4th at 7 p.m. at, wait, where's it at? St. Luke's Church, thank you. Yeah, kind of right across the street. So, join us.
Before we leave, at this point, some people we have found in other of our presentations that this is an area for questions and answers. So if you have any questions about the composers, the instruments, the way we put things together, now is the time if you have any questions. Sir?
Do you know if music ever crossed back over to England during this period?
I didn't say the question.
Did the music ever cross back over to England? Like we were influenced by English music, were they influenced by American music?
No.
I think
Yes, not so much.
No.
Yeah.
Until the jazz age.
No, yeah, not until about 100 years later, when people like, was it Stephen Douglas?
I'm out of my element.
But there were some folk elements that did come across, and especially when composers like Dvorak came over here, and they were influenced by a number of American styles. Came over there, and then it went through Europe. But as far as going directly from America to England, not for several hundred years. Good question, though.
Okay then, thank you for coming.
Please give Montclair Early Music another round of applause. I would like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon, taking time out of your busy afternoon to join us to hear this wonderful presentation by Montclair Early Music. We appreciate them coming, and we look forward to working with them again in the future. I'd like to give a special thanks to Marty Brownstein, Steele Hopkins, and Julianne Tate for making this program possible. And also, I'd like to thank the Montclair Public Library Foundation for providing support for this program. So thank you again for your
We did.